You got to use physical.
Yes.
So, tonight, we're introducing our sister.
Yes.
We're introducing our friend, Dr. Tanya George, on tonight, y'all. Yeah. So now, Dr. George, watch this. I'm gonna give her a little, her little blurb.
Make sure you got all of them.
Her little blurb. Cause I'm gonna let her introduce herself in a little bit.
Okay.
I don't want to talk. I'm gonna let her introduce herself a little bit.
Boy, I don't want to talk.
I don't want to do all the talking. Cause I ain't the doctor. He says, now watch now. So watch this. So many people have experienced abuse, loss of loved ones, and illness as a result. They give up or exist in survival mode. Dr. Tanya George has been there, and she shares her life experiences not as one who has overcome, but as a woman who is in the process of overcoming on a daily basis. See, now she look at it. She walking that thing out. Walking like I talk.
Walk it out.
Walking like I talk.
Yeah.
She has learned that wellness is an ongoing process. She has created the company called Nuniland, which is her platform for encouraging people to live creatively, love passionately, and to walk purposefully. Oh, did y'all see that? Did y'all hear that? I'm gonna say that again.
That
She
is
has
my
created.
motto.
She has created. I'm gonna say that again though. She has created the company called Nuniland, which is her platform for encouraging people to live creatively, love passionately, and to walk purposefully. She is passionate about encouraging people to reach their God-given potential and educating groups on various aspects of health and wellness. So without further ado, since I don't know all her degrees, I'm going to let Dr. Tanya George come up and introduce herself to Welcome Talk Ministries and to all those that are in Facebook Radio Network land. Y'all put y'all hands together, stand up on your feet, and give a round of applause for Dr. Tanya George.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, the doctor's in the house. The doctor's in the house.
Thank you so much for having me. Absolutely a pleasure to be here. So, my background, I do have a PhD in public health.
Ooh,
see, I told y'all she had a PhD. I ain't lied to you.
Y'all, she got a PhD.
I ain't lied to you. I told you she had a PhD.
Ooh.
With a specialization in epidemiology.
Oh, big words. Big words.
Yeah, she's going to have to break that down. Break it down.
And I have a couple of master's degrees, one in clinical leadership, and another one in public health, community health. And I have been a physician assistant for almost 20 years now.
Ooh.
20 years.
Yeah. She got experience.
She ain't no round the way girl. She been in there for a minute.
She been in there.
Get in there. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Deliver us.
Yeah. So today I was coming to try to bring information about American Heart Month. But after listening to your talk just now, I feel shifted.
Oh, she got shifted.
See, she anointed and she can shift it and she can flow
with the spirits.
She can shift and she can flow. Y'all heard that?
So I'll still give information about heart disease, but I want to start off with 1 Corinthians 6:19-20. Okay. Do you know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. So piggybacking on what you said about giving God your all, this is on loan.
Y'all excuse me for running around the building.
Say that.
This is on loan.
Just food around the table.
I'll be back.
I'm serious. Our bodies are not
Y'all
ours.
can see them. Look at the glass.
We are residing in these bodies, and we're to honor God with our bodies.
Okay.
So a lot of the things that you were talking about, not necessarily the losses, but like the illnesses, a lot of the troubles that we may experience. I mean, in all honesty, a lot of us, including myself, I'm not perfect. We do things to damage our bodies.
Yes.
Amen to that.
We're not honoring our bodies at all time, from lack of physical exercise, lack of getting in our fruits and veggies, our water, stressing out over things that we cannot change.
Right.
You know,
No control.
we should focus on things that we can change, and a lot of things that we can change is things related to how we take care of our temples that God has given us.
Amen.
So February is American Heart Month. Heart disease is any kind of disease that involves the heart. Sometimes people use cardiovascular disease interchangeably with heart disease, but when you talk about cardiovascular disease, it is when it's affecting the vessels of the heart.
I'm glad you made that. I'm glad you make that distinction because I've been guilty of that, thinking that they were kind of like intertwined.
People use it interchangeably.
Yeah, interchangeably,
but
I mean.
specifically, cardiovascular disease deal with the vessels and damage of the vessels,
Okay.
illness of the vessels within the heart. But when you talk globally, you can just say heart disease.
Okay.
And there are so many different types of heart disease, and I'll run through some of them. A lot of us, may have these things, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the symptoms and things like that. So one of the major heart disease issues that Americans have is coronary artery disease. We have damage within the major blood vessels of the heart. You can also have peripheral artery disease, where you start having narrowing of blood vessels that cause decreased blood flow to your extremities. So sometimes people are like, I'm numb, it's tingling, they'll have even other issues with distal parts of their body. It's because of those narrowing. High blood pressure, hypertension, those two are the same. Hypertension is just the medical term. And that's when you have the force of the blood against the artery walls are too high. The pressure within there is too high. Now, what's high blood pressure? If you have the top number, the systolic blood pressure is 140 or higher on multiple occasions when you go to the doctor,
Right.
that's considered high blood pressure.
Okay.
If the bottom number, the diastolic number, is over 90 multiple times, that's considered elevated diastolic pressure. So either one, most likely the doctor will treat you if you've had repeated elevated levels. You have congestive heart failure. You'll see people with a lot of trouble breathing. They'll have swollen extremities. That's when you have the inability of the heart to either pump the blood well or to fill well. You can have systolic or you can have diastolic. It can be left heart failure or right. It's based on which ventricles are affected. Okay.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah, I had a question on that too. Go ahead.
Because now a question now is congestive heart failure, is it, or can it be terminal, or is it? Is there a I guess you say, is there a period of it for how long it may last? If you will, someone having congestive heart failure.
Everyone's different. The severity that individuals have are different.
Okay.
So it's not something that will be reversed, that you can just go back and fix that now.
Okay.
But you can do things to try to help improve it, whether it be medications, things like that, your lifestyle changes. But once you've had that ventricle per se thicken and that wall thicken, it's not like you can just go back and do something to make that wall of that ventricle become thin now.
Okay.
So it's not like a reversible problem.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then you were saying something about the right side or the left side being affected.
Right.
Is that something that happens with hypertension long term?
It can. When you have high blood pressure, it can lead to numerous other ailments and illnesses. One is CHF. Another one is stroke. That's a big one when you have constant elevated pressure within your system.
Okay.
It can lead to having strokes.
Oh, okay.
So
I told y'all she got a PhD.
those people are sitting up, they have symptoms, or I've heard people say, oh, yeah, I have high blood pressure, but, the medications, they cause problems in and of itself, so I don't take them. Yeah, but you're not doing anything to honor your body, and you're not taking care of your body, and you're
Oops.
consuming 1,000 and thousands and thousands of grams of sodium every day,
Woohoo.
making it worse.
Yeah.
So you're either going to make lifestyle changes and do things to better yourself,
Or
take the medications and still do things to better yourself. So you won't wind up debilitated over it.
in other words, she told y'all you can get with this,
Oh,
or
you
you
can
can get with
with
that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think I go with this because this is where it's at.
Yeah.
If you all have any questions, I don't know if we'll have time to do this today. Like I said, we're introducing Dr. George as we go along, because I don't want to take too much of her time. But the number to call is 214-431-5032. Like I said, we're going to premiere this once a month. Have Dr. George on here, and she's going to bring all kinds of health tips and advice, and
And you can talk to the doctor.
you can talk to the doctor. So, like I said, if you have any questions, we may not do the questions this evening, because I want her to, like I said, give out this information, because this is a wealth of information. It's actually good. I'm actually learning some stuff my dog gonna sell. The number to call is 214-431-5032. So put that down, keep that in your mental Rolodex, and we will let you know when Dr. George will be on. We're probably gonna do this. She
said, "Give me a call."
I'm gonna tell Mama. I'm gonna tell you. I'm sorry. I just saw how you did. Just
Oh my God.
I'm gonna tell Mama. I saw it too. I saw that
Oh
one.
Lord, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Doctor's in the house.
Yeah, the doctor is in the house.
How may we take your call?
We will probably. I think I don't know. We haven't finalized it, but we probably do it like this. Maybe at the end of the month, probably the last Wednesday of the month is probably what we're probably shooting for here. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so probably starting from the last Wednesday of every month is when we're going to premiere Dr. George, and we will come. If y'all have any suggestions about what we should name the segment,
Yeah.
hit us up. Message us. Let us know. Hit us up on Facebook, message us on Messenger, and let us know what y'all would like to call this segment, and we'll see what we come or topics.
Yeah.
If you have any topics that you want to discuss, message us and let us know, and we'll give them to her, and she will be prepared for you next time. All right, take it away.
Alrighty. So cardiac arrest. So when you hear that, that's bad.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
bad.
So you have a sudden loss of your heart function. You have loss of breathing. You're unconscious. That is when, medical professionals have to bring you back. Okay, is once you have a cardiac arrest.
Now, is that sudden when you have cardiac
is
arrest?
sudden.
Oh, it's sudden.
Yes, it is
Okay.
sudden.
And what
It is sudden.
what can bring that on? I mean,
If you've had heart disease for a while, untreated, you have problems like hypertension, a lot of the other heart disease illnesses, and it takes its toll. It takes its toll.
That's what Michael
Now,
Jackson
there's a
died
difference
from, y'all.
between cardiac arrest and heart attacks.
Yeah, I know it's a
Okay,
difference.
yeah.
Okay, explain the
Yeah.
difference.
So when you have a heart attack or what's called a myocardial infarction,
Yeah.
that is when you have just death of the muscle tissue. You've
Okay.
lost flow, like say your coronary arteries are blocked, filled with all of that McDonald's and Burger King and
Yeah,
Whataburger.
LeVon.
Okay? And you have all these plaques and there's not enough blood flow. Oxygen is in the blood and the blood carries the oxygen to the tissue.
Right.
So if you have all the arteries and they're all blocked up, the blood's not getting there, so therefore the oxygen
is not getting there.
Next thing you know, you have death of that tissue.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the cardiac arrest, you just
Oh, that just happened.
you lost all function.
You're just
all
oh.
function.
Yeah.
It's
It's just
explosion.
shut down.
Your heart just said, "I'm done."
Oh, so it's like somebody cut the power switch off.
Yes.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah. And our heart is reliant on electrical activity.
Right.
Right? So that electrical activity has been ceased and it just stops. So you lose consciousness, no heartbeat, things like that. That's when life support and ACLS and we got to bring you back and revive you.
Clear.
Okay. All right. So then you have arrhythmias. Some people, I have my heart is palpating. Some people, I can just feel my heart racing, whether it's too fast or too slow, or say it's going da 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 da, and then it goes normal and da da. You know, there's so many different types of arrhythmias. You can have bradycardia, that's heart rate that's very slow. You can have tachycardia when your heart rate's real fast.
Okay.
What about heart murmurs?
Heart murmurs are structural problems.
Okay.
Those and
Oh, see, we just built funny then.
Yeah.
Will you stop it?
You said it was structural, so I'm just saying you built
Yeah,
funny
it's a
then.
structural
On the
issue.
inside.
Yeah. You know, you have
It takes him to bring that stuff out like that.
so there are different types of murmurs. You know, the upper chambers of your heart, the atrium.
Right.
At the bottom, there's your ventricles. Right? Sometimes, like, you have your tricuspid, bicuspid, you have valves in between the atrium and
the
your
ventricles,
ventricles.
right.
For example, say for mitral valve regurgitation, or the mitral valve is just kind of flopping back in the wind. So when the heart is contracting and filling, you have blood flow kind of not going out efficiently, and you'll have it regurgitating, spitting back up into the atrium.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I got you.
so
I'm following you.
that will give you a different heart sound when you're listening with the stethoscope.
Okay.
So that will be a type of murmur that you can hear.
Okay.
So
Oh.
it's a structural issue, and there's different types. You know, there's various types of murmurs that you can hear and people have.
Okay,
so
so
will that cause a heart situation, like a heart attack, or, you know, what you're discussing at this point?
Again, like all of the different types of heart diseases, after a while, when your heart is a muscle.
Right.
It's like when you working out, and your arm get tired because you sitting there doing a whole bunch of bicep curls or whatever, and it'll get tired. After years and years of living, as we get older, that muscle gets tired, especially if it's been not functioning in a proper manner because of us
Overwork.
not taking care of ourselves,
Right.
us having structural issues, whatever it may be. After a while, it can get really tired. Also, family history has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
If you have an early, say, for example, for people that in their family, they had men in their family that were less than 55 years old and they had heart attacks or cardiac arrest. That is a big light bulb for practitioners to think that this person will probably need to be monitored closely because they're at risk of developing the same.
Okay.
Okay.
That means
And
I need
for
to watch you,
women,
Lavon.
it's less than 65. If family members were less than 65.
I need to watch you with this eye.
What's wrong with in the middle of her segment? What are you?
I'm talking. We talking.
But
Just
you're
help.
talking across her.
We're talking. We're
She's
talking.
giving out information.
We're giving out information. I know it, and then I'm taking it in. So I'm letting it know. I need to watch
Taking
you.
it and you pointing at me. What you
Cause I need to watch
watching
you.
that for?
Look, he got his eyes.
Yeah, I need to watch you.
Well, okay, well, I guess that's a good thing. Jesus.
I need to make sure I have my defibrillator on fleek. I need to make sure I have my defibrillator on fleek.
Have it on standby. Just make sure you know how to use it.
I know. We done had
Well, I practice with her, and it should be all right.
He'll be sitting there putting the pads, thinking he putting it on you, and put them on himself. That's shocking. He
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, I see how much she can take. Yeah.
He probably would just do it on Juki to see if he could take it. Let me see. Man, listen.
Oh, Jeff can't tell.
All right. So what's the big thing about heart disease? Why it has its own month in the U.S. as American
I never did know
Heart Month.
February was.
And
Well,
you'll see a lot of people
Valentine's
wear red.
Day, heart.
Yeah.
Valentine's, you know.
You'll see a lot of people
Love.
wearing red throughout the month. They have Go
Yeah.
Red for Women to help. Or it's actually a global initiative that is trying to bring more awareness to heart disease and women of certain, racial backgrounds.
So now
and
the question is heart disease more detected in women than men, or how is that?
You know what? Because and to answer that, because I had the question, because it's kind of
But
like.
she's a doctor.
No, I was finna. You know what? Be quiet. I'm finna mute you. I'm finna mute you. So, yeah. No, but to go along with that, I was going to ask: does that heart disease affect women more than men?
That's a great question. It actually affects both men and women and people of all ethnic and racial backgrounds.
Okay.
Okay.
It is the
Equally.
number one leading cause of death in the United States.
Wow.
Okay. Now you can answer LaVon's question.
Number
now.
one. I done forgot now.
See there?
What happened?
See, I told you. Joker.
What?
No, I just said, is it more detected in men than women, or vice versa?
Or is it the same?
It's the same.
Well, like I said, it's affecting all. Whether I have my own suspicion, I don't know statistics on that question. But if I had my suspicions, I would think that it's being detected more in women because
we go
I
more.
think women
We go
and I'm-
doctor more.
Y'all might kick me, but
Yeah.
I think men are more hardened to go seek medical help.
Yeah.
Than women are. But again, that's just my, I don't have
I
statistics
believe
to
you on
back.
that.
No, because the reason that I asked you that question, does it affect women more than men, is because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a commercial. I think you may have seen it where it's talking about how heart disease affects women more than men, because women who are getting into the upper echelon of management in companies and everything,
yeah.
and they are
Stress.
stress, and then a lot more women are dropping dead from that because again, I'm like you. This is just my supposition of that, is because since they're women, they are women in those positions where they have to kind of, like, if you will, work twice as hard to
Yeah.
prove their mustard in an industry that's dominated by men. And it's not saying that they don't know how,
No.
but because that is just that's
That
a
just
male
goes back to-
dominated.
It just go back to creation.
Yeah, it's a male dominated
What
thing
have you been created
to
for?
forward, right?
So,
So, like, again, these are not statistics. These are just our suppositions and our machinations on what we're just talking about right now. And like I said, the doctor here is going to correct all of us if we wrong.
Right.
And
The
like she
doctor's in the house.
and watch it say, but the beauty about it, I like what she said. I don't have statistics. This is
Yeah.
my supposition. This is my
Yeah.
opinion. So y'all can't say we told y'all wrong information.
Yeah.
and I'll have my own disclaimer. So, anytime you hear someone providing medical information, like now,
See.
you are never to make changes in your life, whatever it is, whether it be medications, starting an exercise regime, whatever, before talking to your doctor. Because, again, everyone is unique. And if you have some undiagnosed heart problem, and then you hear me say, oh, yeah, you should be getting moderate exercise, at least, 150 minutes a week, and you go out and try to go run on the treadmill, and next thing you know, you fall out, and that's for
can't sue her.
anyone that you hear giving medical advice. They will always recommend you to go to your medical doctor, your provider, whomever that may be. Run it by them first. Is it okay that I start an exercise routine? What should I do? How should I start off? Because we're all different. Okay?
That's good.
I can
Now-
go to the gym and work out for 2 hours if I want, but that could kill somebody else.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
y'all heard that.
So
That's
as
good.
far as the stress, what you were talking about last night, I knew someone was going to ask about that. So I looked it up. And
Thank you.
I
Thank you very
thought the
much.
same
Oh,
thing.
Lord.
I thought that because of, the stress levels, not just women, but just for men and women in today's time, everybody's grinding, everybody's trying to,
Get ahead,
get
do
ahead,
more,
do it,
Right, yeah.
all of that kind of stuff.
Chasing
So I
that
always
bag.
wondered, is there concrete evidence to back that up? And there isn't. There's a lot of suggestion that chronic stress can lead to heart disease or heart problems. There's suggestions, but there's no concrete clinical scientific
Proof.
that it does.
Does
What is known though, high stress levels. When you're stressed out and say you have something happen, like somebody run up on you, you go into what's called flight or fight, right? So you have a release of a lot of hormones.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let me run up on me like that.
Those-
Woo! You know, you gotta calm, you bring yourself down. Boy, you got, oh! You just,
Oh, my
oh my God. You just
God.
don't, woosah.
See?
Woosah. Okay, yeah.
And those release of like adrenaline, all those different hormones that's released when you're stressed, over time, if you're chronically releasing those, it can raise your blood pressure.
Wow.
Really?
So
So
that's-
you see some people sometimes
I didn't know
I get
that.
all stressed out and they go to the
Anxiety.
doctor, and then next thing you know, the doctor checking their blood pressure, and their blood pressure is 200 over 100.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, and the doctor,
That's
oh,
stroke.
have you been stressed out? Yeah, I got this going on. Continue stress. So it's like, you know, one thing could lead to another thing, can lead to another
Ooh.
thing.
So if you too much release of those
those
hormones,
hormones, yeah.
like you said, like that fight or flight mode,
Yes.
that can cause you to have.
Elevated blood
elevated
pressure.
blood-
and
wow.
Like I mentioned before in the beginning of the segment, elevated blood pressure can cause numerous other problems,
Oh.
especially if it's untreated,
Yeah.
undiagnosed. So that stressful life is not worth it.
Oh, y'all
And
heard it from doctor.
I'm talking to myself too.
Yeah, like I said, like I said,
They know. So
I mean, hey, like I said,
Yeah.
it ain't worth
my
it.
God.
I didn't, but that like I said, that what I didn't know. I didn't know you keep you know
that going.
Yeah, keep somebody stress you out. I mean, you get to the point like
that
say
like-
run up on you or scare you like that. Did you keep that
but
constant with that?
imagine
constant-
like you're
Like, I just use that as
fear.
an example. Yeah, it's like you 'cause
Constant anxiety,
You're releasing those
fear.
same hormones
Yeah.
constantly, continually, whatever the reason may be. That can cause you to have.
That's why
high
the
blood
Lord
pressure.
say,
right.
you know, not to have fear.
Well, I
And
see
as
why.
we know, fear
You
is
see-
not from God. I
Yeah.
have to tell myself that often.
That's why. But see now watch this. A lot of people try to separate medical
In the word.
and the word.
Huh.
But now watch this. Just right there, what she just said. Now we see why God keep telling you, cast your cares on me.
And don't
because if
fear.
you keep and don't fear, because you keep that up, you gonna cause yourself to become sick. You gonna cause yourself to become, watch this, having elevated stress levels, and you're gonna cause yourself to be put on medication, and it's gonna probably lead to other ailments and this, that, and the third, because you are stressed. Because watch this, God said, because you keep trying to carry all that stuff on your own, you're not
Yeah.
bringing it to me. Give it to me.
There it
God
is.
keep telling you, I'm the only one who can take and handle that.
There it is.
God says, I'm the only one who can deal with that. And watch this. You ain't seen him stressing. He dealing
Huh.
with no, hold on, no.
Everybody.
He did exactly. He dealing with everybody. Everybody. For those of you that may be
Wow.
listening to in our other countries, everybody is a little bit more than everybody. That means it don't matter who you are. Everybody
Every
is
walk of
everybody.
life. Every walk of life.
Everybody. That's everybody. I don't care if you're
Everybody.
black, white, fat, hot, short,
Fat?
tall,
What?
skinny, anorexic, whatever you are. Light, dark, everybody.
Everybody.
And just like with that, everybody is affected by heart disease if, you have all these problems. Those people with congenital heart problems, they were born like that.
I was gonna ask you: is congestive heart failure, is that hereditary, or is that something that like I said, that just develops over time?
Most of the time it's developed over the time. I am not sure if that has a genetic predisposition.
Okay.
High blood pressure definitely
Does.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm honestly not sure about CHF.
Okay.
whether it
So
does or not.
since we brought that up, do you happen to know what I guess you said what heart diseases of that nature? Which ones do have a genetic disposition?
You can have some people have genetic hypercholesterolemia, and I'm bringing that up. That's not per se a heart disease, but it leads to the coronary artery disease, peripheral artery disease. It can lead to those, and ultimately cardiac arrest and MI heart attacks. So, and I'll use my own family as an example. Every single individual in my family has high cholesterol
Wow.
since we were teenagers.
Wow.
So
Wow.
we didn't even get a chance yet, you know.
And that's hereditary?
It is hereditary. So it did not matter that we were, you know, kids, like, you know. So my whole life I was battling with, trying to keep, you know, the trans fatty acids, the saturated fats out of my diet.
Wow.
And when I got to be a little bit younger than what I am, I ain't gonna say my age,
She ain't gonna say her age. She said a little bit
Right.
younger than what she is now. Thank you.
because my mother has a history of having multiple heart attacks.
Wow.
My doctor was like, all right, you have gave it a valiant effort. You've kept it close to normal, high, but it's still elevated. You gotta go on medications.
Medication.
Wow.
I know. They did that the same way with me because Mama's the same way.
I had a talk with her the other day about it too. Yeah.
Mama got in trouble.
Mama got in trouble.
Okay. Well, I guess, but maybe
You could try your best doing. I mean,
maybe
exercise.
you maybe I might not tell Mama this one. Then maybe you might have kind of washed out what you just said because you had to talk with Mama about that. All right. I guess you.
No, I just said I had a conversation with her about it.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
Well, okay. Well, I can still tell about you then. All right. Thank you. That's what I was trying to clarify. All right, thank you. But no, seriously, yeah, because I had, because that's what because I didn't realize that was hereditary because I pretty much watch what I eat, and it's like all of a sudden out of nowhere, my doctor was talking about my cholesterol was high, and I'm like, I ain't changing nothing. I ain't doing nothing more different or less than what I'm doing, and he was like. And then, like he said, I kept going. He said, well, you gave it a valiant effort. You gave it the whole college try. I said, well, now we got to put you on medication. What?
Yeah, he didn't want
No,
the pills.
no.
He did not want the pills.
No, doc, no.
He was mad. He was hot.
So
I always tell people, you know, because I don't want to take medications either, but benefits versus risk.
yeah. So
I will take those pills, so it'll help prevent me from having those heart attacks.
Wow.
I talked to Mama, and she was telling me because it was kind of like it was probably like almost like the same time, or maybe that's when I found out from her. She was like, "Oh, yeah, the doctor was telling me the same." I said, "Oh,
Uh-huh.
so this hereditary, huh?" And she's kind of like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, well, no one. That's why. So ain't nothing I can do about it." And
I mean, there are things you can still do, even though it's hereditary. You can still kind of keep it at bay. So say it's genetic and, you know, your levels are still high, even though you're eating well, you're exercising, right? And the doctor's like, well, it's still not going down.
Right, okay.
So they'll put you on medications, right? There's different kinds, statins, whatever, atorvastatin, all these different things. But if you just be like, all right, well, I'll go on the medication, but I'm going to just do whatever I want. And you continue to eat like fatty foods and things like that will build up those plaques inside your arteries and your vessels. You can make it worse. So next thing you know, you're on multiple medications.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
We don't want that.
Right. Exactly.
No.
So you still have to make those lifestyle changes. Yeah, you still have to do those things, as well as taking, like, I still take my medication, but I still watch what I eat.
Yeah.
And just recently, I've lost like 10 pounds because I'm trying my best to keep my weight at bay.
Yeah. And you about to put the applause
She
on
lost
that.
10. Yeah, I did. I put the applause on. She lost 10 pounds. She did. Yeah, because you know what? Because at one point before I went back to my doctor, I had like stopped taking my meds just because you always kind of want to say, okay, is meds actually working or was it me doing something? And I went and I told her, and she was like, and she told me, she said, well, your levels are slightly high, but she said, so have you been taking the medication or not? And I told her, I said, no. I hadn't taken it. I said no. I said I hadn't been taking it. So I will get back. I said all right. I told him because I was just doing to see what would
Right.
happen.
what would happen if I didn't. And they, like I said, they only went they went on a little high, but then I said, okay, so I went back on. I said, all right, I'll take them. I'll be
Okay,
good
but
boy.
imagine those a little high repeatedly over time
And that
as we're
affects
getting
you.
older,
Yeah.
and all that little bit of plaque
Plaque
that's being
building
deposited
Jesus.
on those inner linings of those vessels.
Okay,
Eventually will
but
collapse.
yeah, some gonna give.
That blood flow gonna eventually become less and less,
Less.
and less because you have
Ooh.
all that buildup within the vessels,
Jesus.
and then your heart is gonna be starving for oxygen because
Okay.
there's a decreased blood flow.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that?
Okay.
So benefits versus risk. We don't want to take medications, but if you have to,
Do it.
medications are cardiac arrest. Medications are MI, heart attacks. I'm taking the medication.
Yeah, but me too. That's why I just went back on it and I said, okay, well, I still eat, still, say, watching what I eat, and of course,
medication do cause side effects, but again, benefits versus risk.
and of course, like I said, stay in the gym. So I still walk and run my 3 miles and exercise, try to stay
Listen,
fit because look here, man,
He
we
gotta tell that.
Huh?
He walk his 3 miles. He gotta tell it.
hater.
But I want to give
I
you
want
just
mine
a
too.
couple of statistics before we have to go.
Okay.
One death in every 37 seconds. Heart disease.
What?
One.
What?
Yep,
One death
Hey, what?
every 37 seconds.
So
One in every 4 deaths.
Ooh.
Okay? 647,000 deaths per year in just the U.S. alone. Heart disease.
Ooh, geez. Okay, I have a question real quick from
Question
one
on the-
of our
on the
friends.
line.
Yeah, Stephanie says she wants to know what tests do physicians run to determine how much plaque has built up in your arteries.
Okay, one of the most
She
common.
said just CBC.
No. A CBC is not going to tell you anything about plaque buildup. A CBC has your white blood cell count, it has your hemoglobin, your hematocrit, and your platelets.
Oh.
So it's not going to give you any of that information. The test, one of the most common tests that you can get is called a carotid Doppler. Because your carotid arteries here,
Right.
those major, if you go like that and you feel it pumping, that's your carotids.
Right.
That's one of the major tests, and it's like an ultrasound. They
Oh,
just
really?
on the outside, and this ultrasound sonographer will look and do images of your vessels. That is one of the major tests that they will do.
All right, you hear that, Stephanie?
Okay.
I didn't
Got
know that.
that?
We learned something. We learned something new. We learned something new.
Quick signs and symptoms: chest pain, tightness in your chest, pressure, palpitations, shortness of breath, weakness, numbness, coldness in your extremities, jaw pain, upper shoulder pain on your left side, upper back pain. MI, you want to be concerned about a heart attack with those. Lightheadedness, sometimes people can get full syncopal episodes where they pass out, and loss of consciousness usually will, go along with cardiac arrest or sometimes CHF too. You just not getting the proper oxygen, and, you can actually have a syncopal event.
Okay. Well, y'all, we just about run out of time, man. We appreciate y'all. See how quick that is. I told her I would give her the last hour. Man, look at she probably had more information to give. That's called being prepared.
She thought she wasn't gonna have enough.
Yeah, she thought she wasn't gonna have enough, so she oversaturated with the facts and the stats. But she had just enough to give. And like I said, we're going to have Dr. George on here once a month, which is probably the last Wednesday of the month, and she's going to come and give all kinds of health tidbits, facts, information, news you can use. And again, if y'all have any questions that y'all gonna have for Dr. George, man, y'all better get them joints right, write them down.
Write them down.
Yeah, write them down.
Write 'em down.
Use
He done
crayons,
went, he done went
marker.
Caribbean, didn't
Yes,
he?
hey.
Write
I
them
know
down.
you try to come back to my background there.
Yeah.
Hey!
Oh yeah, I did tell you she's Caribbean too.
Yeah.
See? She's Caribbean. Y'all heard that?
I'm a
Yeah.
half-breed, a half-breed.
Tell us where you're from.
Yeah,
tell
tell
us
us-
where you're from,
Well,
Daniel.
my dad is from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
I grew up around both my American side of family, as well as, family from Trinidad and Tobago. We have a house back in Tobago, so that's
Yeah.
like my other home.
See,
Yeah.
see, y'all, see, yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
huh?
anybody out there
All right.
listening?
Anybody out there listening?
Yeah.
Oh, and she said, Stephanie said, thank you for the answer. She appreciates it.
No problem anytime.
All right, like again, y'all said, if y'all got any questions, Y'all got any questions for Doc? Like I said, we're going to have her on the last Wednesday of every month. And then, so if you have any questions, you can inbox us, get them ready, or have them ready for the end of the next month on the last Wednesday. And you can either inbox us or you can call us at 214-431-5032.
Or they can contact you where?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you can contact Dr. George where?
So on Facebook, I am Noonie Land, Noonie Land. Instagram, I am at Nooneyland LLC. You can DM me. I prefer Instagram DMs, so you can DM me if you have questions that you want to, directly, or if you have a group that you would like for me to talk to, anything like that. I'm available.
See, she's available, y'all. She's available. I'm available to you. All right.
Songs for everything.
Yeah, I got songs for everything. I tell you, actually, I stay on it. But y'all, like I said, we got to get up out of here. And, y'all remember, what is your stay thirsty, my friends, and remember, what is your exit strategy? And we got to get up out of here, man. We thank y'all, we love y'all, we appreciate y'all, and y'all stay blessed, and we will see y'all next Wednesday. Peace. We out this joint.